Oh, I just love that you had a glam bot at a house party. Like, at your
It,
party.
it, it was, that party was just a cluster.
It was an everything kind of party.
Well, and the thing is I didn't do all the things I even wanted to do.
No?
No.
I mean, you had a glam bot.
Mhm.
There was pyro. There.
Pyro.
Oh,
Oh, yes, the pyro. I forgot about the pyro.
I mean, we had fireworks.
Yeah, I forgot.
There was like mapped projection
There
on the
was.
house next door.
Yes.
What else did you want to do?
So I wanted to have. Well, I don't want to give it away because I still want to use this for another thing. But
Okay.
so there, I wanted to have a little bit more like performers. Again, we've talked about like fire twirlers and like
Right.
all sorts of things like that. But I have like I want these like disco ball girls. But
I love the
but
disco ball girls.
so if we're really getting into it, so I wanted to do a photo thing where they're holding like a frame.
Okay.
And then so it's like two disco ball girls. They're holding a frame that can fit two people. But on the back side of the frame, I can put like these LED lights that will interact with our software.
Ooh.
So I haven't given this away.
Fancy.
And I am now.
You are now.
So it was a
Guess
way.
you better do it.
It was a way. Well, whatever. Sure, why not? Anyways, so take the photos, but have it interact with the light. So whenever it's taking the photo, it's like bright white.
Right.
So like everyone's lit behind, and it looks really cool. So I actually saw that at a party. It was for I think Valentine's Day, and like it was like it wasn't connected to like software or anything. It was just like these like red rope lights like around the heart.
Okay.
And so like whenever like you took the photo, you were lit from behind. So it was like just the coolest. I was like, I can level this up and attach it to the software and do like cooler things like that.
Yeah, I like this a lot. It feels a little bougie.
Not necessarily on a budget because that's a little. It's expensive.
It is.
Jesus.
I didn't say it was inexpensive.
And like disco ball girls, like they have rent to pay too.
They do. They do.
Hi, party animals. Party on Miranda.
Party on Ryan.
Except you, Aunt Dolores. Today we're talking about bougie on a budget. And this is something that we're excited to talk about. I know that that is a very common theme. And everyone wants to get bang for their buck. And they want to have the best party for the lowest amount of dollars.
Yeah, I mean, we all have lives and things to pay for. And while we want to throw a party, sometimes we don't have as much money as we want.
No wonder why cakes are expensive. Look at the price of eggs.
Right? Are you kidding me?
Although cake was expensive beforehand.
Right, but now, I mean...
I'm sure
those...
I always get a kick out of that on Father of the Bride. Whenever Steve Martin is like, a cake is flour, oil, eggs, and water.
Well,
why
now
is
the
it so
eggs
expensive?
justifies it, okay.
So luxury doesn't necessarily mean expensive.
No, absolutely not.
What does luxury mean to you?
I think luxury is about a feeling for me. Like feeling taken care of, feeling that things are curated and really well thought out and planned. I think that for me is more luxury.
Okay.
What about for you?
Intention. Luxury is intention. It means doing something specifically for someone, knowing that you like thought about them. Okay. So one thing I always have appreciated, I love it. I love a place card. I love a unusual way of doing a place card. Yes. I love that. There's one girl I saw on TikTok, and her thing was she did ribbons, and she had, what's that little, is that called a cricket?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'm not familiar.
I use them daily.
I do not. So the cricket, she had like everyone's names and like did it on the ribbon. And I was like, that's really pretty and like really intentional. I just think it's so beautiful.
It is, and it's a really easy way to upscale and take things to another level.
I've done coffee mugs as place cards. Okay. I've had people's names on the coffee mug.
I like that.
Yeah.
For a girl who drinks coffee all day
There
every
might
day.
there might have been a cricket involved, although I don't know who did it for me. But I think that's how that was accomplished.
Okay.
But yeah, I love doing. So I went to Mexico one time, and they have these little. I guess you could call it like an ornament. Like it's like a little metal thing, and it's like painted or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I've done like a Mexican themed sort of party and had all those place cards like that. I really enjoy that.
Yeah, I love what's happening with like the escort card displays right now on
Mm.
place seatings and like the keychains or the individual
I love a
pictures of somebody,
keychain.
right?
I love a keychain idea
Yeah.
because you want to give people something that they're going to use and not throw away.
I think that's the tricky part is figuring
Oreos.
out Oreos.
You can have Oreos made with names and logos and all the other things.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I love it.
Nice.
What'd you say? Tim and M's. Tim and M's. What is the best luxury experience you've ever had?
That was a good question. And I don't have a good answer for that.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I'm having a hard time thinking of anything, but I know I've had luxury experiences.
Has it not happened to you recently? Is this a problem? Do you
Yeah,
need help?
I do need. Listen, I work all the time and have a kid to take care of, and I don't have time for luxury.
Swig. Swig. 100% swig.
So Ryan came to Utah recently and discovered swig.
I did.
And he's now obsessed.
It's now my personality.
Yeah, it is.
I love. So they have a little. It's called a Shark Attack, and it has. I don't know. It's like what Sonic would call like an ocean water or something. I'm sure there's coconut in it or something, and there's a little gummy shark that you can put it. It is the best part of my day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't go there anymore because it's like too far from my house because they just built one in Vegas, but I do enjoy it.
Gotcha.
So I've talked about this previously on another podcast that I've done, and it was one of my not I don't think best, but most definitely up there luxury experiences. One time I was in Mexico City at the St. Regis, and it had just opened, and it was such a gorgeous property. And like you go into the room, and the carpet is like this thick, and it's like walking on a cloud. First of all, I was like, this is just brilliant. And you wake up and you're like, whose life did I like step into? Because this is not mine. And it's just it is just so beautiful. And every night at like turn down service, they would bring like by fruit. And I love pears. I've told the story a million times. I love pears. And there was a pear in this little evening fruit basket, and it was the best pear I've ever had in my entire life.
Yum.
Like it was fantastic. So the next day at breakfast, we go downstairs and there's a pear or like a fruit basket, and I look and I was like, "There's no pears." I asked, I was like, "Do you have any pears?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm sure. I think we can. Like, let me go check." About 10 minutes later, someone comes running in with like baskets of pears, like just like bags of pears, and I go, "Did someone go run out and get pears for me?" He's like, "I'm so sorry, sir. You weren't supposed to see that." I was like, what? Like, it was just insane. Like, but the fact that I think luxury most definitely is little luxuries. Luxury is just purely like taking care of someone, I think. And that I think is the mantra of all hospitality, is just making sure that people have things that they need even before they know they need it. Like that anticipation. Like, I think that's like a big thing as well.
I think it is really important that we make our guests feel like they're taken care of and that they're thought of, right? One of my very favorite things that is happening more and more now for events is just like little baskets in the restroom, right? With anything you could need. Feminine hygiene products.
I thought
deodorant.
You were going to say fentanyl. I was like, what? That is not right.
No fentanyl in the bathrooms, please. But, deodorants and hairsprays and, those little throwaway toothbrushy things, just so that your guests feel like they have whatever they need whenever they need it.
Another thing that I really appreciate, and it's been a long time since we've done it, is elevator buttons.
Elevator buttons.
I love an elevator button.
Okay.
So an elevator button is like, let's say like you're doing an event at like a rooftop. And so you enter at the lobby, you go into the elevator, and everyone's like, I don't know what button to press. I love the idea of doing an elevator button that has like a little label that's like
Cute.
party here or this party or whatever. And it costs 50 cents to make it, but it is the most thoughtful thing that reassures someone, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be. I know where I'm at.
I'm doing an event in 2 weeks at a rooftop venue, and I am absolutely doing that.
Just do the elevator button because it will change your life.
Yeah.
And it is just that little thing that kind of sets it over the top. And I love an elevator button.
It's a really great idea.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Follow me for more party advice. Like, subscribe, and follow, and comment, and all the things.
That's what we're doing here, right?
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Oh yeah.
So another thing that we've talked about in just like our industry and groups or whatever is everyone first of all, other industries do this. So I would like for someone to go to an apartment complex that is not luxury, because every apartment complex is labeled as a luxury apartment. Where are the non-luxury apartments? I need. How much was your rent whenever your first apartment?
Ooh, my first apartment, I think my rent was like $400 or something.
Mine was $550.
Yeah.
My first rent was $550, and it was this 2-story loft.
Is that even
gigantic? Those days are gone.
Yep.
Like, that is nuts.
I know. My first like luxury apartment, downtown Salt Lake, 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, huge like patio, all the things. I think it was $525.
That is insane. Yeah. Insane. There was a TikTok of, where are the regular apartments? Like,
there aren't any anymore.
No. It's insane.
No.
So anyways, so this is my thing is like, how are you going to increase the price of rent and you ain't increasing anything in the apartment? Like, sure. There's no updates. There's no nothing. Like, what changed? Like, actually what changed? Yeah. That's a thing that I think of in our industry, and we've had this conversation, is how can you, everyone claims to offer a luxury experience, but what exactly does that mean? And I think that with certain people in our industry that claim to have a luxury experience for their customers but have never experienced it themselves. So how can you know what that is unless you've seen what the potential can be like?
Sure.
Fun little story.
Okay. Tell me.
This is going to be sad. Kelly's going to kill me.
Oh, it's going to be sad.
So there was a hotel that she was working for, and the GM, I don't know where he came from. I very well could be making this up for the purposes of this story, but it's wonderful, and who cares? No one's going to fact check me on the detail that I'm about to tell you.
We're just here for a good story.
He had the well, this part is true. He had the housekeepers put rose petals in the toilets, and like upon check-in. So whenever you like went to the restroom upon check-in, there was just
anything in a toilet,
rose
even
petals,
rose petals,
rose petals in the toilet, and I go, what is this supposed to do? And so, and this has been a long-standing joke, and I want to say that we've stayed at a hotel before, and we've like shared a room, and I am pretty sure I put rose petals in the toilet for her before. But it's kind of like, you know how like they have like on the toilet paper, like they'll do like a design or like a rosette, or like they'll stamp it with like the faucet in the water to like seal it or something like that. I appreciate that. It means that you've taken the time to set and detail whatever this restroom is going to look like. Rose petals in the toilet is kind of brilliant. I think that is what someone thinks luxury is. And it is not rose petals in a toilet.
No, it's not. We
need a rose petals in a toilet count. Ding, ding. Anytime I say rose petals in a toilet.
I do not want to walk into a bathroom and see anything in a toilet. I do not care if it's rose petals. I want nothing there. I want it to be clean.
So we're going to talk about some ways to make something more luxurious without spending the money. Yeah. And I think my top one is lighting. I think that lighting is something that you can easily purchase on Amazon that will kind of like flip an event and set it over and do all those things.
There's so many things you can do with lighting, right?
Yeah.
From uplighting to candles to just little intentional lights throughout the space. it's a really great way to set the mood and the tone of an event.
So I did an event at my house, and it was Coachella themed. And the interesting thing with that one was I was looking around being like, what do I have here that can fit that theme? And it's also about utilizing some resources that you have. Creativity comes from constraint. I'm going to say this until the day that I die. It will be the last words out of my mouth. Just like Oscar Wilde, it will be etched on my tombstone.
Perfect,
Creativity comes from constraint. It absolutely does. And one of the things I looked at, I was like, I have a projector. What can I do with this projector? And I was like, I'm going to projection map the Coachella Ferris wheel on this wall, like whenever people walk in. And it was the coolest thing ever. And
it was. It set the tone immediately.
It was
you
so
walked
cool.
in and it was there.
You're like, I am at Coachella now.
Yes, that's exactly.
Yeah, for sure. I get it. There's ways to include color with lighting. So I always love a blue. I think I'm going to default to a blue. That's just me. But it's very easy to like wrap a brand color or something into, actually, so funny enough, I don't know have you ever been on a Disney cruise?
No.
So there is a restaurant called Animator's Palette. And the cool thing is you walk into the restaurant and it starts off as black and white. Like all the decor is black and white. And then it's like one of those like progressive dinners. So like by the end of it, everything is color. The costumes of all the waiters are all changed. So they all start in black and white and they end in these like crazy colorful outfits.
I love this.
You can like draw like your own little like stick figure thing on like this little like placemat, I guess. They scan it into the system and then it like gets animated and plays all around like the restaurant. It's the coolest thing ever.
Listen, I love me some Disney. I've had zero desire to go on a Disney cruise because kids.
First of all, Disney cruises are the best.
That's what I hear. But now I have to go. I need to go just for this dinner.
So I will say this. I will spend money on occasion.
Wait.
Yeah.
You will?
A big shocker.
I know.
So, but like to me, Disney cruises are like insane. Like they're insane. They can be like $2,000 a person.
Yeah,
that's nuts.
It's a lot.
That's absolutely nuts. So I was able to go on a Disney cruise. I had like the ultimate hack. Everyone in the entire world gets COVID. The cruise industry shuts down. They offer discounts. It's the best hack. Completely, so what happened was the Disney cruise that I went on, it was one of the first ones where they started opening up the cruises again. And the deal was that you had to have a COVID vaccination. The brilliant part of it was that COVID vaccinations weren't approved for children yet, like 4 through 12.
Okay.
So kids couldn't go on a Disney cruise. I went on an adult-only Disney cruise.
Well, I mean, there was I missed my shot.
There was like kids and like little infants, but like they're fine. Like just feed them and I don't know, hold them, whatever people do with children. But it was the best. It was the best. There was like next to no kids.
Okay.
Fabulous. Brilliant hack if you're ever interested.
Next time there's a worldwide pandemic, you know how to get a deal on a Disney.
Speaking of Disney, so we went on, my entire team was in Orlando, and we went to Disney World, but we got a VIP tour guide.
Okay.
It was expensive.
I have seen people do this, and I love the idea of it.
It's a lot. So you can bring up to 10 people.
Okay.
And everyone has to have a ticket, and then you pay on top of that.
For the tour guide, yes.
Correct. It was brilliant. Yeah. I would do it again in a heartbeat. I think if you only have like one day to do at Disney, absolutely do it. Go with a group of people. If you want to split the cost, wonderful. But it was great because we got to go like in back entrances of like every single ride. No line, no nothing. They just skip you to the front. Like one time we were going from one park over to Magic Kingdom. We park in the back, like go right in front to like Tron. And there was, in the backstage areas, there was like a whole bunch of like carts that had ice cream. He walks in, he goes, do y'all want ice cream? And he like sticks his hand and like raids this like Mickey bar ice cream thing and just hands it out to all of us. We're like, we don't have to pay for it. He's like, no, don't worry about it. And we just walk right on in. Like it was completely brilliant.
Oh, that's fun. Disney is a company that is really good at intentional luxury.
Vegas is good at it too.
Yes.
So we actually had a conversation about this in the car.
We did.
And it was Vegas is effectively really good at doing luxury and VIP in many levels,
and making you feel like you're a VIP
no
at many
matter how
levels.
much money
Yeah.
you're spending. So if you're on a budget, you're going to get a free buffet.
Right.
And that is, wow, that is amazing. This is VIP.
Yep.
Or you're going to get a room upgrade. Wow, this is so fantastic. My trip just got 10 times better. Or they're going to send you offers if you're like gambling. And hey, you know, go ahead, go to this website, book this flight, go to this website, book your hotel, they'll comp it, whatever. Then there's another one where it's like, hey, we'll send a plane out for you. Like there just different levels of VIP in Vegas. And I think that's what makes Vegas very special and very, I'm not going to say exclusive because that's not really a thing. Also, Vegas is really big on speakeasy. So like there's like a hidden door that can open up into a bar like every 5 minutes. Like I get it. But the cool thing about it is it's not necessarily limited to how much it's limited to how much you're spending, but the value of whatever you're getting as an upgrade still feels like VIP.
Right, because they've created those different levels. So, like you said, if you're on a budget and you're here and you're on Fremont Street and you're gambling and somebody gives you, listen, I don't want to go to Fremont Street to gamble, but if you
Circus
are,
nice,
right, and you get a free buffet, that is like that's important for some people, right? And it does change their trip.
It does. I will also say this: Vegas buffets and Vegas buffets being cheap are kind of a thing of the past. So that's probably not a good example. However, it previously was a good example. Yeah. I think the Bacchanal buffet at Caesars is like $150 a person.
That's crazy.
Do you want to know the hack?
Yeah, tell me.
So the hack is whenever they have like a crab leg thing, I think the crab leg starts at like 1. Make your reservation for like 11:30, and then by the time you get in, you can still get the crab, but don't have to pay the crab price.
Oh, see? All right.
Bougie,
Ryan with all the Vegas
bougie on a budget. This is how we screw the system.
This is how we do it.
So how many, I know you've done this before, but how many times have you determined if you're going to rent something or buy something?
If I know that I will be able to rent it out a couple of times, or I'll be able to use it a couple of times, I'll absolutely buy it. If it's something that it's just going to be a one and done, then I'm going to rent it. I don't want to store it if I'm not going to use it again. So for me, it's how many times am I going to use it? Is it going to be worth it?
Okay. I think that for me, I will buy anything. I had a decor friend, and he said, he goes, never buy a rental item if you wouldn't want to have it in your own house. And I was like, that's kind of brilliant. Okay. So we talked about this with like photo booths. Right. Like there's a photo booth out there that is like wooden and beautiful and gorgeous and fantastic. It just isn't my aesthetic. It's my aesthetic for my home, I think, but it's not my aesthetic for my business. Right. So it's not.
It doesn't make sense for you.
No, it doesn't. So like, it really can't like buy it, But I think it's really cool how. So also the rule is I never buy anything unless it's paid for in the first rental.
True. Same.
Because I'm not going into debt over rental.
Nope. If somebody wants something, if their invoice is going to cover it, great. I will buy it. Yeah. I will find a reason to use it again, but I'm not buying something that hasn't been paid for.
What about tablescapes? I really enjoy a very gigantic, over-the-top tablescape.
So do I.
There was one time where I did a moss linen from BBJ, and I ended up putting actual moss on top of it.
Of course.
It was the worst decision I've ever made. No one actually sat.
Because it was messy?
It was messy. And no one actually sat at this table, and I think that was the whole reason of why I did it, but we did like moss green. We did like these beautiful golds. We did like oranges and plums, and it was just so beautiful. It was so beautiful. I wish I could do that party every day.
I think linens are a great way to elevate, for sure.
I would most definitely spend some money on linens.
Yeah.
Because that is a thing that's going to like lift something. You could have a table in a park in the middle of nowhere.
Yep.
With the amazing linen.
Amazing linen, a few candles, some florals.
A bomb chair.
And you're set, right?
Yeah.
Linens, I think texture in general is a really easy way to elevate your event and make it look luxurious and still be able to have that budget. That layering of textures
I love that idea.
is
There
one of
was
my favorite ways to elevate an event.
I had a friend, a mentor, and she was talking about I don't know why we were talking about this, but we were like, what are some parties we want to do before we die? I
Mm.
would love to do a party in like the desert, like salt flats kind of thing.
Hey, I know where those are.
Yeah, it just like one long table, it just completely over the top. It is so not feasible. It is you are never going to get 25, 30 people out in the middle of nowhere for dinner. It's
For the
just
right experience, you absolutely are. Listen, I live in a place where people drive to the salt flats all the freaking time.
well, if you were to put like a go on Apple Maps, drop a pin and say meet me here, like
Yes.
you would.
Yeah. It's actually fairly common in Utah for people to do elopements on the salt flats. Like,
Oh, I can see that.
yeah.
I
So
can
it's,
see
I mean,
that.
it's doable.
But
I
it
will help you plan this.
well, I'm not that motivated at the moment, but
All right. Well,
you
then
know,
I'm doing it.
well,
Okay.
we kind of talked about just you have to be the change. You have to plan the parties. I don't want
I don't want
to.
to.
Food and beverage, upscale food and beverage.
Food and beverage is a place where you can spend a lot of money,
You can.
and it's a place where it's easy to do things that allow you to save some money.
This is true. So with Coachella, a little party that I did,
Rychella.
Rychella, I was like, I am not going crazy on food.
Yeah.
I did not do that. I will say this: I went to the Secret Magic Costco, uh, down by it's actually down by Fremont. um,
There's a Secret Magic Costco.
yeah. It's Costco business.
Ah,
It's fabulous.
we have one of those.
It's
I like it.
fabulous.
Yeah.
Anyways, I was like, I do a lot of parties. I'm just gonna buy the Schaefers. So I spent some money on like buying a whole bunch of Schaefers. It was brilliant, and we ended up doing Raising Canes because I was like, I'm not gonna get a crappy chicken. Like if I'm gonna get chicken, I'm just gonna get like the real chicken that I want. We went and ordered a ton of Raising Canes and just threw it in a Schaefer, and it
Yeah.
was the smartest thing we've ever could have done.
And it was great.
Another thing is fry baskets. I always used to make fun of fry baskets. Have you seen that TikTok with the millennial burger joint?
No.
It's kind of dumb. So it's
Great.
like,
I'll go watch it.
yeah, it's he's saying things like, like no sides, like sides aren't included, and we cuss, so we're serious. Like it's like a
Yeah.
damn good burger or whatever. But like I don't know, it's just surprisingly accurate, which is why I think it makes it so perfect. But you how like you go to like Chili's or any restaurant and like they kind of just do like a little like over presentation.
Okay.
Fry baskets are kind of I always would say they're stupid. I bought fry baskets.
They're such an easy.
They keep it crispy.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of brilliant.
Yeah.
And they look cute.
They do. They're
Like,
kitschy.
We did a Super Bowl party and we did fry baskets on things. Have you seen like a hanging pretzel?
Mhm.
That's brilliant. With little sauces and dips
Yep.
and things like that. Another thing I really like is whenever and you can even do this at like your house or something like that, but whenever you have like an area for like a buffet, doing like certain levels of things.
Right.
So I always love doing like levels and stacking things on top of one another, and
It adds to the texture, going back to the texture,
you
right?
and you can even like add like foliage
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. Go to the floral wholesaler and put like Italian ruscus and just make it like look a little prettier.
Yeah. Speaking of florals, in order to save some money and elevate, how do you feel about a mix, as somebody who has done florals, a mix of real florals and faux florals?
100% absolutely.
Great.
Do you know what the rule is?
Tell me.
If the guest can touch it, it has to be real. If they can't touch it, it can be fake. That's the rule.
Ooh,
So if
I
you're
didn't
gonna
know there was a rule.
Yeah, so if you're gonna do like a ceiling install, 100% have it be fake.
Okay.
Because no one can touch it, no one can see. Like, and also you don't want that much weight hanging above people. Like that's not a thing.
True.
You can do real greenery because real greenery and fake flowers can kind of throw something off. That's another thing. I remember whenever I used to do floral, we would have brides that would come in and be like, hey, we want to do artificial because it's cheap. And I read it on some magazine that said that, oh, this is going to be, a cost saving thing for me. I'm like, girl, no.
I mean, faux
Artificial,
florals are
they're
still
super
expensive,
expensive. They are
especially for
super
good ones.
expensive. They are super, super expensive. And I mean, and again, you're right for the good ones.
Yeah.
We went to the Netflix restaurant at MGM. They had faux floral everywhere. I don't know if you noticed this. Did you
I
notice
did,
it?
yeah.
They had faux floral everywhere.
Yep.
It looked spectacular
It
because
really
it was
did.
like it fooled me. Like I had to touch it, and I was like, oh, but see, that's the rule. That's why we have
Right.
the rule. If they can
Yep.
touch it, oh, they're cheap. They would never. They have a cash bar.
Okay, let's talk about bars.
Okay, segue into bars. Segue into
That's a good
bars.
segue.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, I mean, so we hit on food and beverage a little bit, but bar is a place where you can also spend a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
So, a cash bar is an option.
For who?
Well,
not for my friends.
Not for me.
Maybe
either,
in Utah.
It's one way that I have found to save money at a bar is signature cocktails.
For sure.
Cute,
beer,
trendy,
wine, signature.
Everybody
cocktail.
loves it.
End of story.
Yep. And you don't have to have a full bar. Stop having full bars.
I respectfully disagree.
Listen, if you're looking for bougie on a budget, stop having full bars.
I am not looking for bougie on a budget.
Well, I know you're not.
This is
but
not
that's
a
what
thing
this
I
episode is about.
to. Oh yeah, I forgot. I'm sorry. I am sorry. Well, that's the other thing is also thinking of things between creatively versus expensively. So I'm always gonna say do a non-consumption bar, never a per person hosted. That's just blowing money at anyone. I mean, if you are in catering sales and you are listening to this, yes, absolutely, sell the hosted bar, get the money. Like I get it, but if you're a client planning this, probably not a good idea because you have to. Not only does everyone have to drink, everyone has to drink and in excess over the ones that don't drink.
Right.
So that's the big thing too.
Yeah, in order to make it worth it.
And I have friends that drink and I have friends that drank, and there is most definitely a difference. But most of them are only gonna have like one or two, and that's it. So that kind of for me isn't really gonna make sense.
Another way, let's see, what's another way to make things look a little more luxurious? One of my favorites, monochromatic. Keep things nice, simple, clean. I think it really elevates a space.
Also, another thing is having a very wide color palette, because if you have something in a green, something in a light blue, something in a purple, something in a red, something in an orange, something in a pink, having all those things together, then it doesn't matter the things that you buy. And then there is difference in color, then there's difference in texture, then there's difference in shape, then there's differences in size and scale. So I think whenever you do those events become very luxurious really quickly because it's more pleasing for your eye.
Okay.
I did one event. This was actually I think my absolute first corporate event I ever did. And I was doing wedding planning, and a corporate person came in and said that she wanted me to do like a very high-end dinner. And it was so beautiful. And now that I think about it, we did like really good like favors for everyone. I love a favor that's like edible. I don't like stupid trinkety things that are gonna get thrown away. I had one bride,
except for a keychain.
I had one bride do a harmonica. Who the hell needs a harmonica? Like, I mean, it meant something to the groom, I guess, but not everyone needs it. What would you do with a harmonica right now?
If I got a harmonica at a wedding, I'd probably hang on to it for a couple of months. And then toss it.
I have a friend. It's one of the best things that I've ever got. It is absolutely a thing that I use. It was a destination wedding. She had this little like airplane thing, and it's a bottle opener.
Oh, cute.
100% going to stay in the kitchen.
Yeah, something that people are going to use on a regular basis.
That bottle opener has lasted longer than the marriage, and that's not a joke.
It happens. It happens.
So another thing that I've always kind of thought about is what are some ways to have a gigantic impact without things costing a lot.
Okay.
And one of those things is fabric.
Yes.
There was kind of one event that I did, it was Little Dream event at Gotham Hall in New York. And have you seen Gotham Hall?
Maybe.
It was the iconic venue for Britney Spears' NBC
Okay.
like show special that she.
Okay.
Anyways, it was amazing.
Great.
Look it up. I'll put the Britney link in the show notes. But anyways, they have like this giant truss at the top, and we did fabric that came all the way down, and it just like brought in the space so beautifully. And I mean, it wasn't too expensive back then. I can't imagine what it would be now. Just to everything costs more now, but
It does. But draping is. I went to an event just a couple of weeks ago that I helped with, and we were doing a dinner and then like an education speaker portion for the event. And big open room, we draped down the middle of the room and really like closed the space off to create an actual dinner space that felt beautiful and intentional. And then we were able to have the speaker in a different space and kind of break that off. It really helped set the tone for the night.
I can get that.
Yeah.
What is your rule for like DIY? What things can be DIY'd? What things can't be DIY'd?
If you're going to do it in a way that it still looks good, it can be DIY'd.
I think everyone's DIY capabilities are very wide. There are some people that are great at DIY and other people that are not good at DIY.
The thing I have to say is know your limits. Know what you're capable of or the people around you are capable of, because I think there is some absolute value in DIY. I got married before I worked in the event industry, and we actually DIY'd a lot. I DIY'd my centerpieces, I DIY'd my ceremony decor, but I am a crafty, creative person, and it looked stellar, if I do say so myself. Not everybody can pull that off, so know your limits.
I agree with that. I think that, am I going to start cricketing things? No, absolutely not. That is not my forte. It is not a thing I aspire to do. Like, I don't, that is not something I need to be doing.
That's fair.
Well, I will say this. Did I tell you the time I got into candle making?
No.
So, I don't even know how in the hell this happened, but listen. So, this is a thing. This is it's probably a disease, but this is also a thing of creating habits. So, a habit is created within 21 days. If you can do something for
what they say.
If you can do something for 21 days straight, it has officially become a habit.
I think all I've done for 21 days straight is drink coffee and work.
I've had I'm pretty good at building habits.
Okay.
I'm on like day like 750 of Duolingo.
That is really impressive.
It kind of is.
Yeah.
I am doing a party for my 1111th day of Duolingo.
I like it.
I cannot wait.
French themed?
Probably, yeah.
I mean, you're learning French.
It's gonna be owl themed. So okay. I need a little. I'm gonna put Johnny and dress him up as the bird.
I like it. You're on notice, Johnny.
So the thing with creating habits is going all in. I do not do a lot of things halfway.
Sure.
The dishes, absolutely 100% halfway.
Laundry,
not
done.
No, 4 to 6 business days in each.
Right, like, in each section.
Yeah. You want me to fold something? No, not
nope.
No, but truthfully, if an idea pops in my head, I really feel sorry for the poor people in my way because I'm plowing through it and I'm going all in. I mean, I think you can. You can do this too.
I am very much that same way.
You can do this too.
Yeah.
So this is the thing: is whenever you're building habit, like
it's called ADHD. Folks.
I don't agree with that. Not everything is a disorder. Actually, I mean, literally
you
said
did
this was
just
a disease,
say I think this is a disease.
Yeah. So no. But going to the gym. Going to the gym is all about like taking care of yourself.
Sure.
So it's not only the fact of going to the gym; it's getting to the gym. So then, I'm gonna go to Lululemon. I'm gonna buy an outfit, and then I need a gym bag. I'm gonna go buy a gym bag. I need to get. I'm not kidding, Miranda. Don't laugh at me.
No, I'm only laughing because this is very much what happens in my brain right now.
Really?
Yes. If I decide I'm going to start working out again,
but it's committing to it.
I need new clothes. I need a gym bag.
I just
I
ordered.
need new shoes.
I ordered protein shakers to fit my Ninja.
Right.
That's the thing that you. That's the thing that you do. It is a way of going all in. So I am 100% going all in. I did the same whenever I was doing candles.
Okay.
So
Tell me.
I don't know why in the hell I did this. I was probably bored and had too much time on my hands. I got the best candle warmer wax melter thing that you can purchase. I bought all the stupid little oil things. I bought the little tins because I'm like, I'm gonna do these client gifts, or I'm gonna create my own little scent. It is all sitting in the closet now. But when I am ready to make a candle, I
You're
whenever the mood
set.
strikes me, it is
Yeah.
over for you people. Lalabo better watch out because I am coming.
So this is how my business was built.
Same.
Honestly, we started as a photo booth business, right? And then during this lovely pandemic we've talked about already, I I've always considered myself a serial creative. That's how I refer to myself. And so I'd decide like, hey, I'm going to do watercolor, right? And I'd buy all of the things. I'd go to the craft store. I'd buy all of the things, the paper, the brushes, the paints, all of the things. I'd dive
Like
in.
it's like a hobby?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'd dive in.
I thought you were like
I'd learn
painting
it.
at weddings.
No, 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 no.
That's what I thought you were doing.
Although I do love that trend.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And, I do it for 3-4 months. And then I'm like, ooh, I want to try paper quilling. And, right? Like, I legitimately tried paper quilling. You buy all the things, you buy all the papers, cut the little paper in the little strips, do it for 3 or 4 months. This is how I started doing balloons. It was during COVID. Everything had shut down. All of our events as a photo booth company had canceled. And I was like, well, great. I'm going to do balloons. I'm going to figure it out. So I'm telling my husband this. I'm like, Tyler, this is what we're going to do. This is the next phase of our business. And he goes, okay, sure it
Lord
is.
help me.
Like, all right, buy all the things. And it was the one that stuck.
So this is something that I really appreciate, and I'm so glad you mentioned, is the things that stick. So you don't know what's going to happen until you try.
Right.
That's the thing that I think that is most definitely 100%. Keep in the back of your mind, you don't know if this one's going to hit.
Yep.
There's a Joan Rivers saying from her documentary piece of work. It was her manager. You can't get hit by lightning if you're not standing out in the rain. And no one can stand out in the rain longer than Joan Rivers because she was just like gonna try all the things.
Okay.
And all the things that you're doing might be, still creating somehow passive income.
Right.
So, for example, I did neon for a little bit, and we would do custom neon. I still get orders.
Okay.
Probably about $1,000 a month. It's not paying. I'm not retiring off that, but it's paying something.
Right.
Doesn't take but 30 minutes of my month. That's
great.
about it. So I think that's like a really cool thing to kind of keep in mind. So anyways, so going back to this, whenever you are building a business, my business in Houston, our first logo had 3 dots, and it was a floral dot, a lighting dot, and a furniture dot because we did event production.
Yep.
And we would every year we joked that we were going to always add a dot, so it ended up being a photo booth dot, and we ended up doing just a ton of other things. Well, it actually turned out to be part of our culture, and we didn't recognize that we were building this culture at the time. So whenever we would do interviews with like new team members that would come on, I am 100% going to be able to foster good talent. I know that you're not going to work for me forever. People typically stay with me about 2-3 years. I'm lucky that my team that's with me now has been like 5 or 6.
That's awesome.
So, but typically the average is about 2 or 3 years before they move on to the next one. Right. This team that's with me right now has been able to kind of grow with me a little bit. So we're all kind of just in our routines. Yeah, very much so. So, but then whenever you're just doing little things, I remember whenever we would hire any florist, it would come out of Texas A&M. It just kind of how it was. I want to be able to foster good habits with you. I want to be able to make you either a stronger salesperson, a stronger designer, whatever the case may be. That way, whenever you go to the next one, you're going to learn a lot here. I'm completely fine with fostering young talent. 100%. I enjoy doing it. Yep. I'm really good at doing it. Well, whenever we would do interviews, I would always ask, our logo is this, these dots. And actually, we had like a postcard, and it was like a whole bunch of dots, but it looked like a sentence, but it was just like photos of events. It was the most brilliant
Cute.
piece of collateral that I think I've ever done in my entire career. But we would ask, what is a dot you would bring to our business? And there was one girl, she wanted to do, she ended up doing live painting. She was an artist.
Okay.
And then there was another one that was a graphic designer. And then there was another one that wanted to have his own catering company. Great. I will show you all the things and all the tricks and all the mistakes that you will learn to make now. And it was just a wonderful culture that I didn't know that we were creating at the time.
I
So
love that a lot.
I love the idea of being able to make those mistakes and grow together, and I don't know, I just enjoy it.
I think it's part of the evolution of business for sure. I mean, that's really how my business has grown, from the photo booths to the balloons to rentals to more decor. Like, we're just continuing to grow and evolve, and we're adding dots. And you can figure out what you want your business to be, and if it's what you're currently doing and that's what you want it to be, awesome. If there's something else you want to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Try things, learn.
So whenever you're like I have like my main brand, and typically my recommendation whenever you like want to like add things, and every photographer has been here. Every photographer has had, their main, icon brand or what have you, with whatever main name photographer you have.
Right.
And then the demand gets so busy, you don't want to turn away these leads that you're paying for, so you do kind of like a little offshoot brand. There's a million photographers that have done this, and every one of them thinks that it's a brand new concept, which is hysterical. But and then you have staff photographers,
Right.
and then the staff photographers try and recreate the same sort of style or whatever. Obviously, no one is doing it as good
Exactly
as
the same.
the main one, but then you're getting into the point of doing too much work. Now you're going into the volume era. But the cool thing is that whenever you do the offshoot brand, or the thing that isn't, you're trying not to diminish the main brands. Like whenever I did Neon, that was a separate company. Whenever we did the phone voicemail guest book things, that's a separate thing, because you don't want to diminish the main brand, but you still want to be able to offer it. So I would kind of always do these like little like offshoot brands. And whenever it happened with the Neon was one that hit. And we did a bridal show, which I never do bridal shows, but I was like, this is an experiment. I'm 100% like going all in on making sure that this is going to be like,
A thing.
a test thing.
Yeah.
And we did the whole, like a little neon bar, and it was pick your neon, pick your name. This is what the layout's going to look like. This is what the sample's going to look like. And we took money.
That's awesome.
I mean, money. We had people booking on the spot. Now it sucks because Neon you can get a lot cheaper elsewhere, and it's custom, so it's not as beneficial. But at the moment, it was one of the things that hit, and it was great because it was bringing in just as much revenue as the main brand.
Yeah.
So do the thing. You never know what's going to hit. You never know what's going to
try to
end up working out. Maybe you'll end up doing balloons for the rest of your life. Who the hell knows?
Who knows? I think this could be an entire episode in and of itself, is this talking about brand evolution and how your business grows. But I just want to say, try the things. Do it. Like, it's worked out for both of us.
Yeah.
So why not? All right. So I think we've talked about a lot of different ways that we can bring luxury on a budget into an event. We want to know your favorites. We want to know what you've done, how you do it, and tell us your stories.
Yes. What are the rose petals in your toilet? Party's over.
Party's over.
Do something. Perform, monkey.